We know that when Meghan steps into a room or goes to an event, that it's not random. So when she appears at a charity that was started in 2020 for the first public documented time, one has to ask why. What and how does she benefit from this? Stay with me till the end, because as much as this is about Meghan, this is also about leverage. And once you start looking at this like pieces across a chessboard, it's hard to unsee it. So if you are like me and you're interested in the truth, you're sick of the clickbait and the gossip and the social media drama, then this could be the channel for you, where I delve into things to uncover what is really going on. Using my 20+ years experience in the field of psychology. So if you got this far, go grab your drink of choice, settle back, relax as we get into some tea, truth, with a touch of therapeutic psychology. So as per usual, because of my menopausal brain, I have my trusty notes here. So if you see me looking off camera, that is why. So before I get going, I just want to quickly say, I am very aware, being on social media, of the horrendous attacks against the royal family. Now, I'm not saying by any stretch that I'm siding with Andrew, because I'm not. I kind of want to separate him from this and Sarah, because what I'm seeing in regards to those two is pretty horrendous. However, I have always stated that I feel that they are being used as a deflection. They are being used as scapegoats, because I'm seeing more and more and more abolish the monarchy, abolish the monarchy. And so it feels that these people that are saying all of this, that are attacking the royal family, this is not about the victims. And that's really what we should be looking at here, is justice for the victims. These disgusting people who are anti-monarchists are using the abolish the monarchy rhetoric, and instead of focusing and they're not really caring about the victims of Epstein and these high profile people. So I'm going to be getting into that. I just have to come away from it a little bit, because it's really affected me. It's actually created me to feel very, very angry, because I just think, where is the outrage and all of this passion for all of the other high profile people that are involved in this? Why are we focusing actually on the one family that have actually done something about it, that actually have dished out consequences? But it's never enough. I'm going to get into a rant, so I'm going to stop, because this is about Meghan. So right, so I'm laying the groundwork first. So with regards to public supporters of causes, there are two types. So we have the groundwork model. So these are people that do this quiet involvement, which we've seen the royal family do. Long-term consistency, growing with the cause. And then there's something we call the apex model, where they enter at the gala, where they hit the carpet, maximum press, peak visibility, then nothing. And who does that sound like? Does it feel familiar? Yeah, because that's exactly what Meghan does. She is the apex model, not to be confused with the apex predator. So the 15% pledge has existed since 2020, but there is no public documented pattern of Meghan ever showing sustained interest, visibility, involvement before this gala, where interestingly she pairs up with Emma Grede, and we're going to get to that in a minute. Of course, if we're going to look logically, it doesn't mean that she didn't care privately. Okay, but there's no visible groundwork. And for someone as media aware as Meghan, you know she would have utilised this if she was interested before now, but there's been nothing. But of course, she enters at the red carpet stage rather than the developmental stage. Where was that similar to? Oh yeah, Sundance Film Festival. But let's not jump to conclusions yet. Oh no, okay, let's. Because this isn't about a charity. This is retail. when we look at the fact that Meghan is positioning herself into beauty, fashion, this starts to make all sorts of sense, doesn't it? So stay with me. So the 15% pledge operates at the intersection of retail shelf space, corporate buyers, brand distribution, supply chain economics. This isn't soup kitchen philanthropy. I always get that word wrong. Philanthropy. This is structural retail power. Then you add in Emma Grede, who is the co-founder of Skims and Good American, connected to the Kardashians. Emma is not an influencer type tier. She is an infrastructure tier. So if she stands next to Meghan publicly, she has already calculated the value. Smart women do not gamble brand capital on impulse. For Emma, this is also strategic. And if you look at that, which I will get into in a bit more detail, but did we hear about Emma Grede before she sort of came on board with Meghan Markle? No. And as much as I know that a lot of you will be, well, she'll be Markled and all of those things, yeah, they could absolutely be true. But this is about business. And so if you take the emotion out of it, Emma Grede is looking at this, well, you know, I've got the money, I've got the backing. What I don't have is a public profile. And who has a public profile, whether it is good or bad, it doesn't matter. Meghan Markle. So let's look at the dress. So yes, the dress, I have seen some people say that this was from Temu and Shein. I get it, because the design was not great. And it, again, did not really fit her frame. Honestly, I do not understand how Meghan Markle by now has not understood her frame. It's bizarre. But anyway, so it was a custom made design by Harbison Studio, which is an important detail. Again, there is no public documented evidence of Meghan wearing Harbison before this event. But funnily enough, reports are coming out that they've been lifelong friends. They've been friends for decades. Not that we've seen any evidence of that at all. So it appears to be the first confirmed public wear. So it makes its debut. So again, it's like bringing, publicity to a black designer. These are launches. These are not accidental. Now, this is where we start delving a little bit deeper, because when we compare before 2020 and after 2020, the pattern shifts. Because before 2020, Meghan did wear black designers. And this is strategic because it is connected to the royal family. So she wore Grace Wales Bonner, Maya Miko, I was going to say Pikachu jewelry then. And it's not. It's oh my gosh. Peach Chewick jewelry. Not Pikachu. Oops. And that's documented. So, but they are connected to royal tours, and royal fashion is diplomacy. It's curated, it's institutional, it's strategic, wearing cultural aligned designers during crown representation. That's soft power. It's not rogue activism. It's protocol. And so you have the fact that, when royals are looking at wearing a piece, they are very careful. So especially when it's royal tours, especially abroad, they look at the colours of the flag. They make sure that they're very aware of the relationship of the designer. They are very aware of how the protocol works, not to upset anybody. So there's a lot of things that go into discussing a wardrobe for a royal event, which is why Meghan, when she was on the tour in Africa and places like that, she was obviously that she wore those designs. So given the fact that the racist royal family, it's interesting that when she was part of the royal family, she was wearing black designers. But prior to leaving the royal family, when she got on that freedom flight that Harry was so happy about, and they now have autonomy away from the strict beige racist royal family where I can wear the colours that I want. Did you think that she would align with black designers? No, 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 no. She chose Dior, Valentino, Givenchy, Carolina Herrera, legacy European luxury. Not once, until aligning with Emma Grede, has she ever publicly worn a black designer. She has never supported a black designer, black jewellery, nothing, nothing. But bearing in mind how much she's all for her black sisters, nothing, absolutely nothing. Her wedding dress, the perfect opportunity to choose a black designer. Did she? No, but we'll get to that in a minute. If representation is central to your public narrative, where has economic alignment been constantly visible? Representation in interviews is one thing, representation in invoices is another. That's not shade, that's congruence analysis. You know, this is looking at the fact that when Meghan was part of the institution that she stated was racist, they celebrated black designers. They supported the cultural differences. Since leaving the royal family, when Meghan had full autonomy of her wardrobe, not once until recently has she celebrated a black designer. But that goes unnoticed with her cult fanatics. So where does Emma, so then you're looking at the argument, okay, so what does Emma get out of this? Well, like I said before, we're flipping the board because this isn't one-sided. Why would, excuse me, losing my voice. Why would Emma align publicly with someone as polarizing as Meghan? It's simple. Publicity is currency. Many people had never heard of the 15% pledge, Emma Grede. And if we're going to also even look at the Cookie Queens in the Sundance Film Festival, none of us had really heard about it. Well, I hadn't. I can't speak for everyone else, but I'm pretty sure most people hadn't heard of it. That's amplification. So Emma gains global press reach, royal adjacent visibility, even if it's very, very minimal, cultural symbolism, attention, leverage. And here's the truth. Emma's world is not UK comments. So as much as we say the things that we do on social media, and this is why social media, even though it feels like it's this, it's powerful, it's really not in the real world, in the world of corporate visibility, in the world of the royals, in the world of fashion, etc. It's not. It plays a part, but it's not. You know, it's retail buyers, investors, founder networks. It's a different ecosystem, different temperature. Controversy in one sphere can equal oxygen in another. But let's make one thing clear. This is not a friendship. This is mutual utility. Meghan gets her connection with Emma Grede, connection into the beauty and the fashion world. Emma gets publicity. So let's look at something very plainly. Within the royal connection, Meghan would not generate this scale of attention. And we know that. That's not rocket science. Without the royal family, Meghan would be where she was before the royal family. Most of the world did not know her before she married into the royal family. And again, that's factually correct. That connection remains the publicity engine. So it's the mainstream media that know that every time they put out an article, and I'm going to also do a video on this because I think it's very interesting. I think people don't realize that actually, in a weird way, we are part of the problem. And I'm going to explain that in another video. And please don't jump on that and go, oh my God, it's not our fault. No, I don't mean it that way. And I'm going to explain why actually we can do something to stop this energy being given to Meghan Markle. It's not as simple as it might sound, but we can. And I'm going to explain that in another video. So make sure that you are subscribed and you hit that all on the notification bell so you don't miss the uploads, because I have some very interesting videos coming up. Also, Don't forget to go across to Bite Size Tea, because I'm also doing lots of other things over there in shorter format, not just about Harry and Meghan, just lots of things I'm seeing on social media, really getting to the truth of what's going on. So please go across and subscribe to that. The link is at the end of this video. Anyway, so when charities and foundations align with her, they're also aligning with royal adjacency, global tabloid reach, cultural discourse. Borrowed spotlight still shines, which is what Meghan has done. Meghan hijacks anything connected to the royal family. If you watch when something comes out about Catherine, something comes out about the royal family, up she pops, because it's like she's riding on that coattail, riding on that wave. That's what she does. That is strategic PR. That is what the PR people would be saying. Every time the royal family do something, you need to jump on that. So she knows exactly what she's doing. And in a way, Emma is doing exactly the same thing. Meghan would not have this global reach if it wasn't for the royal family. Most of us would not really have heard of Emma if it wasn't for Meghan, who then has global reach because of the royal family. Do you see where I'm going with this? So this isn't about scandal. Like I say, this isn't attacking this. And I know that some people have gone after the charity. And you know what? I understand the outrage. I really, really do. But I think that we are at risk of them becoming just as bad if we start attacking everything that's connected to when Meghan appears, like the cookie queens, because they have supported or they've taken their money. Because then we are doing exactly the same thing as what people are doing with the royal family right now. They are attacking the royal family for this connection, obviously, with Andrew and Epstein. And we're saying this is not right. You know, it's not fair to attack the family because of what Andrew has done. And I agree. But then we're sort of doing the same thing. But every time Meghan aligns with a charity, we're attacking that charity or digging into that charity, trying to find something scrupulous. And don't get me wrong, if there is something, fine. But a lot of the time there isn't. And so it could then start hurting innocent people just because they are somehow vaguely utilizing this. I kind of feel that maybe, it's such a difficult thing because I sort of get it. But at the same time, I guess my therapist head is like, are we being just as bad when we accuse the cult squad of doxing and attacking and everything else? It's like, but then we start kind of going into the same realm, and that doesn't feel right either. But the pattern is, before 2020 she had diplomatic representation. After 2020 she didn't, and she could have used that to really, really boost and support black jewelry designers, charities, and she hasn't really. And she does, as I've always said, she just jumps on right at the last minute, takes the glory, then walks away. So if we remove emotion from this isn't about friendship. And I think if we look at some of the body language, which I'm going to put a couple of videos that I spotted up here. So just showing this here, and then I'm going to slow it down. So you see here that Meghan grabs her hands. She doesn't grab them back, but she doesn't seem, I think this is kind of for show. What's weird is Meghan isn't giving her eye contact. She's looking to the right, and then she turns around. But this is where she touches her shoulder, and you see Emma's face change. You see it straight away. In my opinion, she doesn't like the fact that Meghan has grabbed her arm here. She steps back, steps away, and she immediately pulls back, and you see her face is completely changed, no longer smiling, and she goes to immediately touch her arm. The body language really does tell. I think Meghan tries to act as if everybody's her friend, but actually they're not. So if you look at what people gain from this, it is about leverage. Meghan gains founder class adjacency, retail ecosystem proximity, business legitimacy optics. When we know that she's trying to move into the fashion and beauty brand, this is what she does. Emma gains global amplification, cultural symbolism, royal adjacent visibility. The charity gains name recognition, media oxygen, corporate attention. They all mutually gain something, and that's why they do it. They don't care about you and I who are commenting on social media going, oh, look at her dress and look at the hemline on this dress. And I get it was pretty poor, but at the same time, they don't care about things like that. when the royal, without the, you know, we know that without the royal connection, Meghan would be the person she was before the royal connection, when nobody really heard of her. She probably would be doing bit parts in things and that would be it. The sad thing is she married Harry. She got a connection into the royal family. And until that separates, the media are going to keep talking about her because they also know that she brings global recognition. Anytime there is an article about Meghan on social media, the comments fly, and they're not like that when it comes to the other royals. So the connection remains the publicity engine. That's it. That's it. So when brands align with her, they are aligning with royal adjacency and the public recognition that comes with that. Because unfortunately, this in the media world, it's unscrupulous. It's like it doesn't care that Meghan has done the things that she's done to her dad. It doesn't care the way that she's spoken about the royal family. It just cares about global recognition. You know, they're not even picking up on the fact that before 2020, where she was actually supporting black designers because of the connection to the royal family, because they were supporting black designers, that doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter to them that after 2020, when she had autonomy in her fashion and designers, that she not once chose a black designer. That doesn't matter. It's very clear that this is what this is. This is a business arrangement. They are attempting to position Meghan into retail and into being around fashion. Now, will it go anywhere? Probably not. You know, what we're probably going to have is like what a lot of stars have done, what a lot of celebrities have done is that they've just put their name to something. They haven't done the hard work. Now, the one that has, Victoria Beckham. Victoria Beckham knows only too well when she came away from the Spice Girls, the hard work and graft that went into creating her fashion brand, Victoria Beckham. You know, she's gone through the pits and the falls of everything. And I will say this, the one thing I did notice was when I watched the Victoria Beckham, and this is the connection to Meghan, the one thing I found interesting, because we know how much Meghan dislikes Victoria Beckham, is that when it was Paris Fashion Week, that was the first time Victoria was showcasing her brand on her own stage, in a sense, was that Paris Fashion Week. And isn't it interesting that Meghan chose that one time to go, so it overshadowed the media? And I think, again, that was purposeful. I really do. I think that was intentional. I mean, it didn't go the way she wanted it to go, because obviously she got a lot of negative press, but but that's what she does. And I think that this is all what this is what this is doing. So yeah, it is literally, it's leverage. It's pure and simple. It's not friendship. They're not best buddies. It's leverage. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Maybe there's something that you have found out. Like I say, I think it's important to recognize there's a lot of gossip. There's a lot of things that are being sort of put on social media that are not necessarily true, which is why I try to bring you the facts. But you are also entitled to watch what you like and think what you like and all of those things that go with that. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed and you don't want to miss future uploads, then please think about subscribing to this channel. Please, if you want to join and support the free therapy program that I have, you can by treating me to a coffee, becoming a member, a super chat, all of those things. But the biggest thing for me is please liking, subscribing, drop a comment and sharing, because it all helps the algorithm and tells YouTube I'm a channel worth keeping. So all the links are below if you want to utilize those. Don't forget to go across to Bite Size Tea and support that channel. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. If you want my PO box, it's here. And you can contact me in other forms as well. So as always, take care of yourself, and I love you. I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. Take care. Bye-bye. Mwah.